Hello, everyone. Do you like my starting soon? Inappropriately cropped off the screen because I was just centering the countdown timer. Allow me to take you down to my designated room here for these little pre-show adventures. I'm sorry, I ran a little bit behind. Welcome everybody in. Mike, it's so good to see you here on a special day like this. Alinti, I hope I'm saying that correctly. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Welcome in. We're gonna have the guest of honor here soon, so your attendance will not be in vain, I swear. I just wanted to give a little thank. Thor listening while mowing, absolute, if I may say so myself, alpha activity in the vicinity, I hear. I'm going to get everything rolling. I just wanted to see how everybody's feeling before we get on with the main event. Forewarning, I think I might have gone somewhat creatively bankrupt at some point in time when I was assembling the podcast. Oh God, even I'm calling it a podcast. I think I've succumbed. I made my visual is lacking to say so. What is happening? This is a guest show format. This is your I realize you missed the last few up to this point, so this is your first introduction. So we have a guest on and we talk, more in the direction of Vtubing in the space that we occupy. As I'm a curious boy, so I created a show to be to talk about it. So I hope that at least piques your interest a little bit. I hope you stick around just to see what's going on, sniff around. We're on we got our little time frame going. We started a little bit early today because I don't want to peek into the nightly activities that will go on. But anyways, as I was saying, I put it together in a haze. I was like, what do I want to display for this for this activity? And then I just had this sleep deprivation moment, and it's like, eureka, this is the one I want to use. So be gentle. But there is actually a living, breathing, moving visual this time, so that should at least take away from the I think the starch. Oh no, starch. Allow me to turn those off because I forgot they were on. I'm glad they're happening now. I was actually in the process. That's just hold on, I'll keep that one on. It's just the little warm up. I hope you got a little taste of what those were about. Now they're gone for a little bit. I'm glad you did that though. It reminded me. That'd be ooky spooky if I forgot about them later. So allow me to do a quick no scope transition here. I know how much you gamers love your waiting screens. This one's going to be pretty superficial. I'm just going to pop it up so I can switch over, and then we'll be in the room and you'll see what I was 500 points. God, I'm sorry. I'll have Zeltos refund you. Wait, are we talking about VTubers? Nerd? Yeah. Can you believe it? This nerd wants to talk VTubing? But that's okay. That's alright. It's what we're here for. It's what I'm studying. Anyways, I'm going to put you back one more time, and then I will be back with the guest very soon. So, my voice is fading. Whoa, that's what I'm here for, Foxy. I'm getting softer, I'm fading away, and I'm gone for just a second. Go ahead and give us a little introduction here. Allow us to... hello. I realized I unmuted myself for you guys. You heard my train of thought. Allow me to bring you to the new room. Ooh, I'm really big. That's not what I meant to move. This is also not what I meant to move. This is very professional. Don't you worry about it. Put myself right here. So that creative bankrupt thing I was talking about, I was like, I'm going to be in my kitchen. And I'll just put the nether portal. I was like, that's cool. That's how I'll talk to an angel. Minecraft. So, right through the nether. That's not biblically accurate, but I thought it was funny and I put it here. But without further ado, I would like to introduce our guest for the night, the very, very lovely Cephinari. Am I saying that correctly? I want to make sure. I love that. I'm glad I got that right. If you would like, give your. Oh, I'm sorry, man. This is just off the rails. I don't know what happened to me tonight. I think I got work fever. I didn't turn the music off. This is about just two voices, nothing else. Allow me to give you the floor so you can introduce yourself and we can get straight into it. Who is Cephinari? Let me know.
My name's Steffion. But everyone basically calls me Sephi. I'm a Seraphim VTuber and allegedly the last angel of Epsilon for my world. And I'm not really sure what kind of streamer I am, but I sort of consider myself a quote unquote a comfy but eternally suffering streamer that mainly streams Final Fantasy 14 raid content and occasionally appears with games that I've never played before. So right now I'm playing Cult of the Lamb and it's pretty much really fun. And I also do studying streams sometimes, where I'm usually just doing something on the side and chatting with my lovely viewers. And yeah, like, and of course I would like to thank you for the opportunity. I'm very nervous, if you couldn't tell. I'm I'm bad at interviews. So
If it helps, I'm bad at interviewing, so we're all kind of
okay, good. We're in the
we're
same boat.
we're all learning a little bit of something right here. But as far as intros go, I couldn't have asked for a better one. I don't think I've introed the show that good at all. So I think I think you did a top notch job. And just going off of what you've already brought to the table, I feel like my mind goes in a billion different ways. But I want to get into kind of uh, a little bit of a side piece here before we get into the VTubing part because I realize I've been out of the loop of several gaming genres for a bit of time, so a little bit of backstory for the crowd. This episode was supposed to happen last week, and I had a little bit of a thing going on, and Sephi was very generous in changing time. So I want to thank you again for that. But this time live on stream because you deserve the thanks. You were very flexible and super helpful in deciding that today was the day. So in that time when we were deciding a second day, you were like, well, I have my schedule for the week. I'm a bit of a raid fiend. Here's what we're working with. And I was like, oh yeah, I mean, yeah, I do my thing. Certainly no, I'm used to it. And then I saw your schedule. I was like, oh wow, you are a raid fiend. You got raids throughout the
Yeah,
week. So,
I raid 6 out of 7 days,
and
so I am very addicted right now.
and my experience with like raids, and it's hardly an experience, is where I'm embarrassed to say this. I'm so far. I feel like when I was writing down this question, I felt like I was doing an hour journalistic piece during the Pokemon Go era, where I'm like an 80-year-old guy, and I'm like, what is this about? Because I remember like 20, oh, I'm not going to say that. That's that's too revealing. I remember years ago, I had like an uncle or something that was really into World of Warcraft, and he was like, that was the only time that I had ever heard somebody go into like the raid mindset. So I wanted to ask you what is if I could be so broad and bold to say what is raid culture like these days? What is raiding in general for us that are uninitiated in this game culture? Because I am so far out.
Well, rating is a very I don't really know how to say it because like I consider myself relatively quote unquote new also to rating, even though like I've been rating for a while. But essentially, like you just gather a whole bunch of people, um, and you just fight a boss, I guess. And for the most part, like well, rating, I'm not too sure about the culture itself, but I usually end up trying to do it with my friends because it's way more fun to do raids with your friends rather than, I guess, doing it on in Final Fantasy, as we say it, like Party Finder, where you just find a few random people and like you basically go for it. Um, but essentially, yeah, like it's just I'm sorry, I'm not too very familiar like how deep, because even though I do raid like 6 out of 7 days of my week, like I'm not very like familiar with like what the raid culture exactly is. But for Final Fantasy in particular, it's the raiding scene is pretty big in Final Fantasy, and it's just a good way to like sort of um just do teamwork with like a whole bunch of people. And I know a lot of my viewers also raid as well, so it's a good way to also connect with other people who are doing the same raids and essentially share our suffering experiences in those raids. So yeah, it's I would say probably not the right word for it. It is a comfy experience to raid and be able to talk about raids with other people.
Would you say because I've had somebody loosely explain Final Fantasy 14, uh, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll check it out one day. But is rating we never talked about like what goes on. They're just told me loosely story bits.
Mm,
Is rating like in-game content for Final Fantasy 14? I guess
yes,
for
yes,
online, I guess. Because
yeah.
I'm sorry, I keep cutting you off there. I'll let you
No, no,
say.
no, no, I keep cutting you off. I'm so sorry.
No, no.
I'm like bad with exchanging conversation, as you can tell. Like I can't tell like when I could speak or not.
No, it's fine. Honestly, I do the same. I don't know if interviewing has helped me at all because it's like the duality of like I need to know when it's my turn to speak, and also
Yes.
I'm scared of like silence.
Yeah, yeah, me too. Like it always ends up like that with me because like it's very convenient that most of my when I am streaming, I'm not usually talking to someone, and I'm usually streaming solo for the most part. And like so like I'm never too worried about cutting people off because like my I usually just scroll through the chat and read through the chat. But now that I'm actually talking, like I'm nervous that I'm just gonna all of a sudden cut someone off or cut you off rather. And
Honestly,
I'm just
yeah.
scared.
No, it's cool. I encourage it because I I want I find that sometimes there are long bits the this thing where I talk a lot, and I would very much like it to be the reverse because I trail off a lot. So if you have the need to bulldoze me out of the way, I
Oh
absolutely
no.
invite it. I'm not gonna stop it. I am a I don't know if it's like a social carryover here, but I'll allow anybody to do it. So by all means, but to come back, just to come back to Final Fantasy 14, for just a second longer. How long have you personally been playing Final Fantasy 14 online?
That is a good question. I think I started playing in late 2020. Um, I was invited by one of my friends who also happens to be in my VTuber group. Um, and essentially, she introduced me into the game, and I sort of just got addicted, unfortunately, very hard to this game. And I've been playing it for like years, and I keep telling myself to stop because it's also a subscription-based game, so I have to pay money like every single month for this. And I'm like, okay, I gotta stop now. But then, that hasn't happened, and it's been like 3 years.
Yeah, that those subscription models. Oh, I love me a good subscription model because
Yeah.
it knocks me flat out. But how long does it take you to get to raid content? Like if I started today and I was like, oh, I want to go
Mm.
on raids, like how long would it take me to build an account to get there?
Oh boy. So it depends what kind of raid content you want to do, because there is like raid content that you can do like at level 50, for example. For context, the highest level you can get in this game right now is 90. but you can technically do raids at level 50 if you want to do old content, but usually no one ever does old content like that, where you're just queuing in with like 7 other people to do 50 content. Everyone is usually doing 90 content. So I would say if you want to do raid content for level 90 stuff that's happening right now, it would probably take you a while because you would have to like go through the story, which is like 4 expansions, I think.
Oh, fun.
So it's gonna, yeah, yeah, it's gonna take you a long time because there's cutscenes you have to go through unless you want to bulldoze through the cutscenes, which I don't recommend because the story is actually kind of nice. But yeah, like it's gonna take you a while if you decide to start raiding and playing Final Fantasy like right now.
The reason I ask is because the only game I've played that's like an online type game that has, you know, content to build towards is Warframe, and that took me a long time to get to the end, quote unquote, that I could play with other people. And I figured a game like Final Fantasy online would have a similar dilemma, which leads me into my experience playing with like co-op with random people. You may not share a similar experience to this, but I'm curious where like if you're in later content in a game of like Warframe, in my experience, and you're just like not up to par, it's like you can physically hear the other people typing out the most heinous things to crush your
Oh,
spirit. I was curious, is it kind of like a similar environment on Final Fantasy, or is it like
no,
a little more
actually,
tame?
yeah. So I think Final Fantasy actually like won an award or something for like the best community or something. And I I used to be a League of Legends player, unfortunately,
Mm.
and I am 7 years sober from that game. So I am probably never gonna touch that game again. But definitely being a League player and then moving to Final Fantasy was definitely a very like different experience. Like I was so shocked at how nice the people were on Final Fantasy when I moved from League of Legends, because in League of Legends like it's like people will flame you for like the littlest thing. Even like the enemy team will flame you for like the littlest thing, and it's like yeah, it was very toxic culture on League of Legends. But once I played Final Fantasy, like I was so bad at it in the beginning, obviously, because I was still a little baby sprout, so I was still learning the game. And I remember um failing really hard in this dungeon like one time, and I expected people to be like yelling at me, but then they were just like, oh no, like you're completely fine, like here, this is how you do this or this is how you do that, so like don't worry about it. I'm like, who, like I'm like scared like every single time. I'm like, why are you guys so nice? And I always thought they were being sarcastic, like in the beginning, and I was like in fight or flight mode 24/7 in this game, but eventually I learned like sort of like people are actually very nice in this game. Like there have been really times where I met people that were not nice. Like of course you're going to find people like that, but it's very, I think in my personal opinion, it's very rare to find people like that. In the rating scene, maybe it's a little bit more common than other game content. I've met a few raiders who are very hardcore about raiding, and there's like this whole entire side to like probably I won't get into, but like people who are like what they call parsers, where like they try to get like the highest DPS stuff, things like that. And but very rarely like I find people who are very mean in this game, so it's a good experience.
I'm surprised. I didn't even know there was an award out for like best game culture. Because
Mhm.
I guess that's because I've never played a game that would ever be in the running for something like that. Especially League. I've played League a couple times, and like I couldn't even play bot matches without somebody saying something that I don't even like thinking about going to bed, or it'll keep me up. You know what I mean? So
Right.
yeah, League is something else. But being a nosy person, I know you said you wouldn't touch on it as much, but
Oh.
it sounded like a toxic angle, and I was super curious about you talking about somebody that's like as far as like DPS hogs, or are they like specifically like they'll get mad at you if you interfere with their like long game of like having that badge of like, oh, I did this much in this raid, or I contributed
Yeah.
this much DPS wise.
Give me 1 second. I'm so sorry. One of my viewers is saying they can barely hear you, and like, it's always the audio problems with me.
Oh,
So
that's fine.
give me like a few seconds.
Yeah, that's all good. I have audio problems daily. I have a lot of problems, so no worries. We'll give it a second to breathe. I'm gonna take a very loud sip of ice water, and then I'll allow you to gauge off of that. And sure enough, I got self-conscious before I did it, so I sipped really softly. I also think my guy's talking threshold is too high. I want him to move around a little bit more. Good.
Okay, I think it's okay now. I hope it's okay.
Can okay, we'll do a little bit of tests. Sephi heads. Do you have a name for Sephites? Can you hear the bear?
Sephites. That's my new fan name. The
Sephites.
Sephites.
It sounds biblically accurate in a way. If we're going with before time lore, sounds nice.
I think my fan names are Cephiliums, like Nephiliums. I don't know how to pronounce it, to be honest. I'm probably saying it wrong.
No, that's okay. I'm not very good with words myself, so I don't know if I can help out. But yeah, I do know what you're talking about. So oh man, now I have to say it because I've committed to it. Cephiliums.
Yes, Cephiliums.
All right, there we go. I got it on the first. Um, but
My my viewers are at like they're like, I thought you were a squirrel. Guys,
don't,
he's a fox.
I drew it myself. I tried. One day I'll update it and maybe he'll look good. No, it's okay. I take the fact that it's recognizable as an animal to begin with is I think that's a big W on my end. Huge W. I'll
Huge
take it.
W.
And we take those. So
We do take those.
I'm gonna lay off the Final Fantasy gas pedal here because I that was personal interest. I really
Oh yeah.
I wanted to beat that one out because I was like I want to know more, and I kind of get where the angle's coming from. I realize now that I am a million years too late to grind it out unless I had unlimited time. So maybe another day when Final Fantasy's on its next expansion, I'll give it a shot. But until then, let's talk about you. Let's hone in on you because
Oh boy.
I have not honed in there. So we're gonna figure that out. How long have you been doing this? First of all.
So in terms of streaming, well, I guess, oh man, this is like, there's so many different angles I can take this question, because, so solo streaming, I've been streaming, I believe, since late January. So I'm gonna think it's like January 27th, where I started streaming, but it was more of test streams rather than me actually streaming, where it was just my friends coming to support me during my test streams, making sure all the audio is okay. And I still have audio problems to this day, so I guess it was a little pointless. But in regards to becoming a VTuber, um, in my quote unquote solo career, I started February 15th, I think, of this year. So I started pretty recently, I think 2 months ago, where I first started streaming. Um, but in terms of actually being on like the streamer scene, I've actually started streaming with my VTuber group last year around, I'm gonna say October, that we started as a group before I sort of branched out solo this year. So it's been a bit, it's been a journey for
So,
sure.
so did you guys have like a separate Twitch streaming channel that you all kind of like plugged into? Like someone maybe like led the scene and then everybody kind of joined in. What was the group setup like?
Yes, so our we do have a separate channel where we stream together. So we are like an indie VTuber group that basically streams together on a main channel. We had like we had 7 different talents under our bridge, but then we some stuff changed, our roster changed a bit, so now we only have 5 of us in our main roster. But yeah, it's essentially just we're a group of friends just playing games together on stream, and that's basically like our niche, just a group of friends, which a lot of people I heard really liked our concept in a way, because we did start out as like a stream cafe, where we were a group of friends who went to like a cafe and we miraculously got connected to this current world, to your world, through a coffee spill, to say the least. So yeah.
I love that. I was gonna ask because you started solo streaming so recently, and I've just noticed your you know, not to put you in a weird spot. Your numbers are awesome. So like I like always, you know, I'm always kind of like peeking in, and then like I'll be doing something else and I'll come back and I'll see like you're bumping somewhere in the like circling around 20 average, and I'm like, oh boy, wowie zowie, you know. So I wanted to say, did you see like a lot of people carry over coming to your like your branch off stream from that original group, or did you just start seeing like a lot of people funneling in once you
Oh,
started this new channel?
yeah. That's a good question. So I a lot of my viewers now, they were not from my main channel. Only a few of them know about my VTuber group. And none of them, I guess only like I guess whoever's in my chat right now, I think only like 2 of them were carried over from my main channel, and the rest of them are from somehow they found me through the Twitch algorithm, or they found me through another person's raid. Um, and it's it's like I never thought that, because I always like sometimes look at my numbers too, and I'm always just like, where did everyone come from? Like I sort of don't know like how, because originally when I started streaming solo, my primary intention was to sort of um find out who I am as a individual rather than being a part of the group. Because being a part of a group is definitely different from me streaming solo. And honestly, I never thought that I would get to like double digits streaming alone, because alone with me, like I feel like I'm not as fun to watch compared to some of my members on the main channel with my VTuber group. And I guess it's just really heartwarming to like just see people sort of watch me. Like I have people who like come back to see me like every stream or like every other stream, and I'm always just like, what did I do to deserve you? Where did you come from? And it's a really good feeling. I'm sorry, like I feel like I went on like a tangent. What was the original question?
No, don't worry about that. That's perfectly in line with what we were talking about. I asked if how much carryover you saw from that original group to your new channel, or if it was like all new people. So you were completely on topic there, and a wonderful answer, no less. So, no, it's really incredible, isn't it? Like, just being able to see people come through and then they come back and you're like, oh, you're here again because you like
Right.
me, blush. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a really cool feeling to have something like that happen. And before I go into the more of the you know, group related stuff, networking online, and people you've met up to
Mhm.
now. Networking, when I say networking, that always feels so like so soulless. I come from a corporate job at some point, so my heartless lingo kind of carries over, so sorry. But I wanted to ask just I think we touched on it here and there, but just in the beginning, why did you want to get into VTubing specifically? Like, at what point in time, how long ago were you like, I kind of want to do that? And then how did you kind of start to feel yourself getting into it?
Right. So I don't exactly remember when, but I do know I wanted to start streaming in general, not just VTubing, but streaming in general, like sometime long ago, but I never really got to try it because one, I'm very shy. So I'm really bad at projecting myself out there to a wider audience. And I'm also really bad at holding conversations. So things tend to end up with me just having an awkward silence with me not knowing what to say. So I'm like, I get nervous a lot too on camera. So I wanted to try streaming, but like I just don't think I wanted to become like um a full webcam streamer and show my face. I don't think I was very confident for that. Like, I was definitely very interested in streaming. I just don't think I had the confidence for it for sure. Um, but essentially, when my friend reached out to me, my friends and my VTuber group reached out to me, they were like, "Hey, like we're making a VTuber group. Like we should, like I think it would be fun. Like we should play games together, like just on stream." And originally, we were known as the Froggy Pit, and maybe people heard of us through Twitter, and saw a couple of our streams. But as I said before, our concept was that we were like a group of friends who regularly visited like a cafe on Earth Epsilon, which is an alternate Earth from your Earth. And I remember one of the first streams that we've ever did. Oh man, it was terrible. I don't even want to think back to it. But I was very reserved. I was very shy when it came to talking, and I stuttered way more than I do now. Um, so it was like my first time being on stream, and I was so nervous that I had stream jitters. Like I was like shaking, like I was like visibly shaking, like on like stream, and it was like it was not the best first experience for streaming, but like I definitely wanted to try more. It's just seeing the support from people who are watching us that made me go like, okay, like I gotta step up a bit. Like I need to try like improving myself so I can become more confident on stream. And this year when we rebranded to Epsilon, which is our group name, we did lose a few of our members, unfortunately, but we did gain some new faces to our roster, and we did like sort of did some brush ups to our concept. And this year was like the year I was sort of like, okay, I gotta do better. I gotta try my best more. And I think my confidence shot up a little more when I did my test streams. Just seeing my friends and my friends of friends coming to like watch me and like talk to me on stream just to get me like more acclimated. I think that's the word to the stream setting and like what I'm supposed to do. And um I remember this very first time where I got my first viewer that wasn't one of my friends or my friend of friends, and like I was like, oh heck, I gotta start a conversation like somehow, and I I'm too nervous to say their names, so I probably won't call them out here because I still remember the very first viewer I had, and I I gained a lot of confidence, I think, solo streaming and just getting to know like who I am. And because I'm, I think I'm definitely more different here solo streaming than I am with my VTuber group. I'm definitely a little more reserved over there than I am here. And I feel like it was a really good opportunity once streaming solo to figure out who I am, I guess, and like who am I outside of my VTuber group. And I got to meet so many wonderful people. As I said, like all my viewers are wonderful. Like I've never really had an issue with any of them, and all always encouraged me to keep streaming. And like I always maybe I push myself a little too hard sometimes where I'm like I remember I was sick for like a few weeks and like I kept streaming regardless because I was like I really want to talk to my viewers. Um and all of them were just like so nice and I so supportive and like took good care of me and it's just a really nice experience to stream. I feel like I went on a tangent again. I don't
No,
remember the original question.
no, not at all. It's literally that's exactly what I want out of it. You're doing wonderful. I hate to throw a wrench in here. I usually try to stray away from any outside distraction, but I always want to give love. Thank you, Rito, very much for raiding and bringing people over to see this lovely event. As a sign of my thanks, I've got two things for you. Number one, kiss on your forehead. Number two, I believe Rito brought up a second ago, so it's in my journalistic integrity to ask you this, and I hate to catch you off guard. Rito says, Sephi, you have a wonderful Ara Ara. Would you mind showing us?
Oh man. Oh, what was she? Oh heck. Yeah, this is like I remember this is like a little bit off topic. I remember doing my very first Ara Ara, and maybe it's still on my main channel where I would stream with my friends. And I remember it getting like 250 views on Twitch, and I'm like, where did these people come from? Like, why are they here? And I remember, oh man, doing Ara Aras like get me so like I no matter how many times I do them, because my chat, I'm looking at my chat right now, requests them a lot, or they try to, but I had to raise the price like 50 times because it was just too much. And I doing RRs is like the worst for me because I still get so nervous just doing it because I don't find it like too cringe. It's just that I'm just bad like at doing like sort of, I guess you can say, fan service related things, and I'm still getting used to it. But do I really want to do an RR right on stream with people watching? I'm like,
Would okay, I'm gonna offer this. I would never offer this because I love myself. However, to help out, would it help if I did one first?
oh wait, we get to hear Foxy Ara Ara.
I don't know. I don't know what the I don't know how it's supposed to sound, but
We
I
get to
am
do
willing to give it
Foxy
a shot.
Ara.
Uh,
Let's go.
ooh, all right. Let me shake.
I have
I've
to
been.
mute all my sounds for this. Just for this one.
Oh God. Well, I was nervous all day for different reasons. Now I'm nervous for. Now that's out the window. Rito, you do this, right? You know how to do this? Can you coach me like telepathically?
Oh yeah,
Is it?
he can do it very well. He can teach you.
I've heard Rito's got a talent for that kind of thing. Oh God, wow! I offered and now I feel a little fuck it. You know what? Like a band-aid. Rip it off. Rip it off. God. All right. You're right. It does feel bad. No, Tucker's here. Okay, hold on. The only reason I'm hesitant is because they made me do the classic ooh and then they clipped it and then I couldn't get rid of it. So now, so big.
Someone link me that. Someone link me that.
No, don't bother. It's it's not a big deal. So big breath in. Use your diaphragm. Okay, that's a good start. But is the inflection supposed to be? I'm such a Melvin. Is it supposed to be haughty? I don't. I can't do.
According to one of my viewers, it's for a good Ara Ara, you have to make the listener feel like dirt on the bottom of your shoe.
Oh, I can't do that. Okay. I'm more of like I'm more of like, have you eaten your 3 squared meals today, honey? Are you doing all right? But you know what? Whatever. Okay. Let me get in the headspace. I'm gonna act like nobody's here. Ara Ara. Oh, fuck! I could do it. I could do it. I chickened out. I chickened out.
That was still pretty good.
Treat me like dirt, and I break your pinky toe. Thank you, Tucker. Hold on. I got to do it a real one. I do a real one. I backed out. I'm gonna get real close. I'm gonna give the kissy one. Kissy distance. Okay, hold on. No, good start. Okay, hold on. It was a good start. Bad landing. Let's listen to an male Ara YouTube. I'm sorry to trail us off here, but I feel like, what do you sound like?
Seriously?
Is this a meme video? No, I can't listen to a meme
Let's
video.
hear it.
RSMR, 9 minutes of it.
Oh yeah, there's so many videos. I remember when I was like, I had to look up like a good guide for it, or like I looked up like a few of them online, and there were so many compilations. I'm like, what the heck? Like this is actually like so popular to do.
Yeah, this is a whole niche. There's a little Fire Emblem character here, and they're doing ara noises. Let me crank this real quick.
Ara.
Ooh, ooh, that did make me feel like dirt.
Yeah, there's some of them that are really good.
Okay. God. All right, Rito, follow through like you're asking a question, but instead of going up, go down in a separate message. Wow. You didn't put any inflection on what that sentence was supposed to be read like, but I knew exactly how you wanted me to read it. You feel free to go ahead. I'll follow behind if you want to do one.
Oh no.
Just crack one out by all means.
No. I don't. I think everyone wants to hear the Foxy Ara, so I'm just gonna let you hold the limelight here.
That was an arrow through my chest. Oh God. I just got down here. You all down bad. Thank you, Tucker. I appreciate you, brother. Oh God. I physically feel like my body's rejecting it. I feel like every time I try to insert it, it comes out like yeah.
Finally, someone who understands how I feel every single time I'm requested to do it.
I was so confident going into it, like I just have to do it, and then I scam a free one for all your viewers, and then I'm a hero. But now there's a cost behind being heroic. That's tough. I'm delaying the end times. Read my words, old geezer. That's not what I wanted to hear, but that's okay. Okay, guys. One more try. One more real try. Oh, okay. Oh, I can't do it. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know. I feel so bad putting the pressure on you because here I am.
No. It's very difficult. Trust me. I take this long as well to take my own. So
we have a whole interview, and here I am. Come on, bud, you got this. Oh, okay. I feel I just have to pretend like the Spider-Man like Venom is taking me over, and I'm becoming a villain or something. I don't know. I believe. Rito, you can't say you believe because now I feel like I have to do it for you, who is. No spoilers, but a guest next week. Crazy. I spoiled it anyways. We'll talk later. Ara.
Oh heck, okay.
Is that better?
Okay.
Is that better? Were we in the right direction?
Yes, that was really good.
That was tough. Tucker, I think Tucker just unfollowed. That's tough. But that's okay. It's okay. All right, well,
good.
There you go. Now it's your turn.
Oh boy, I'm gonna take another 10 minutes.
Take another. That's fine. We're padding.
We're gonna be here for a while.
We are padding the runtime, and I'm okay with that. It's okay. I like I said, it was my journalistic integrity that I had to do, and you know what? Maybe I'll even sandwich it because I feel like they're goading me. They keep saying going in the right direction, but
it was pretty good.
But now I have to hear the master at work, so please.
Oh man, I really am not a master. I can't believe Hoshi put me up to this. Of course he would. Of course he would. Oh, I haven't done this. I keep saying this. I haven't done this in a while, so I'm very. I'm trying to make it quick. I'm trying to like suffer quick so I can get it over with.
I understand.
And then we can just like never talk about it ever again.
That's fine. We could we could do that. I could do that for you, but we do have to do it. That's the unfortunate part.
Oh boy. Okay. Oh man. Okay, you got to be ready to like talk like right after I do it because
Oh,
the awkward silence that ensues right after that every single time I do it is it kills me every single time.
okay. What I could do for you, the millisecond that last is out of your mouth and in the air, I have a question ready, and I could
Okay,
say that
perfect.
immediately. I could do that for
I'm
you.
I'm glad. Thank you so much.
You're
You're
welcome.
a savior.
I try my best.
Okay, oh man. I'm so sorry. Should I scream?
I couldn't hear it. It didn't come through on
Oh,
my end.
thank goodness. Like I muted my mic in time. One of my viewers played a sound alert. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. That's all right.
Oh heck. Okay, I guess that warmed my vocal cords enough. I don't like the silence. It's just like so frustrating, like just dead silence when they're waiting
I
for you
get.
to do something.
I was just in that vacuum chamber. It'll make your heart stop. I get that.
Oh man. Oh, I need water. I feel like my mouth is getting so dry just thinking about it.
If it makes you
Okay.
feel better. Oh no, go ahead. I'm sorry. Floor's
No, no,
yours.
no, 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 no. Keep going. Keep going.
I was just gonna say. Longtime viewer Tucker said, "Foxy, you hurt me today." So please,
Oh,
you may go ahead.
oh man. Um, oh man, I keep inhaling, but doing it the inhale exhale technique, and every single time I back out. Like,
I get it.
I,
I do it too. If it helps, your viewer, Alinti, I believe,
oh
said
yes.
you should just bark right after, Keck.
Oh no.
I could
Oh
do
man.
that too. Whatever's
Okay.
better.
No.
It is like she's stalling, Rito. That's very profound.
I'm not stalling. I'm not stalling. I'm just, I'm preparing. I'm preparing. It's different. I keep backing out every single time I do a breath. Okay. I'm so sorry.
It's all right. I've got all night. I'm good.
I mean, I should have known this was gonna happen. I had too much faith in my chat. I had too much faith in Hoshi.
However, Rito had faith in me to make this go right, so I had to do it. I really did.
Oh man. Um, okay. 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 I feel like the startup is all wrong, and I keep I'm getting so embarrassed.
Oh,
Okay.
oh, oh, yeah.
Ada. Oh god,
Yeah.
I
So,
can't. Yeah, okay.
so how did you meet your VTuber group that you were talking about?
Oh yeah, so with my VTuber group, we were all originally friends already. So we were all friends and we basically hung out a lot together. But then a few of my friends had the idea to sort of make a VTuber group because we knew it was like a huge thing. Like I knew about VTubers, but I didn't think about becoming one myself. So I don't really know a lot of VTubers. I was just sort of like dragged by the legs, kicking and screaming to stream. So I was like, this is like sort of like a good opportunity as well because I was like, I did want to try streaming before, so I'm gonna I'm gonna try, and I think that's the a main thing that I just want to try things, even if I think I won't like it. Like I want to try doing it at least. So So yeah, we were a group of 7, and we we started streaming together, not as friends, and basically just like broadcasting whatever we do um outside of on stream. But of course, like things, I feel like things are different when you're actually on camera and on stream. So like it's definitely like a different vibe if you were to hang out with your friends off stream. So but we were all relatively close. I was closer to a lot to some members more than others, but overall we all knew each other. We were all friends. So yeah, like we were just friends who got together and decided to start something together.
I think that's honestly really cool that's how you got started into it, because my story's pretty unprofound. But I will say that I did kind of have this a similar thing where, like, I didn't really have much introduction to VTubers. Like, I knew about them, of course, and I knew a couple that made me laugh, but it wasn't like I was super ingrained in the culture before. And this was just a way for me to be online without being like me completely online. So I get where you're coming from, and makes me want to ask: do you feel like just streaming in general, like, has it helped you kind of break out of that shell? Because I know it was tough for me. It was really tough for me in the beginning. That was a hard switch over.
Yeah, for sure. So I am, like I said before, I'm very introverted. I'm very shy, and I was always that one quiet kid in class that never really said a word. And I'm pretty sure if people were like to look at me now, they're just like, "Oh heck, you became a streamer?" Like I would have never expected that out of you. And streaming definitely broke me out of like that. It definitely helped me hold conversations better. Like, cause like I'm the worst at conversations, and I just really wanted to improve myself, like in a way, and I really think that streaming helped me sort of break out of like that shell, gave me new connections as well. I met a lot of cool streamer friends who supported me like a lot, and it's definitely a, I don't know the proper wording for it, but I got to meet a lot of new people through streaming, and I'm so grateful for it. And I hope to also meet new people during my time streaming as well. And oh, I'm like losing my train of thought like every because after that RR, my brain just like returns back to like one wrinkle mode, and I'm like struggling to like hold thoughts. But yeah, I think streaming did really break me out of my little baby shell, as I would say.
I could, yeah, I could definitely feel it as well, and I can both see how far I've come and then how far I haven't gone yet, because you're
Mhm.
right, that Ara that froze me solid. I thought I was like,
Oh,
oh, it'll be easy. I'm not even a face online. No, that was the hardest thing I've done
yes.
probably in all year.
Mhm.
So yeah, I get that. And speaking of the beginning of who put us in the situation, how do you meet a guy like Rito? Where does he come from? Where
Oh
does that guy
man,
come from?
that's a good question, honestly. I don't even know where he came from. Honestly, like, I was not close to Rito. Well, Hoshi, I call him Hoshi. I don't know why I said Rito. Everyone calls him Rito. I'm just so used to calling him Hoshi. But I honestly don't even know where he came from. Sorry, Hoshi. I'm like blanking right now. I think we grew closer this year. I'm gonna say this year because I don't think we talked at all when I first started streaming with my VTuber group. I definitely think we talked more when I started streaming solo. It was that one time where I decided to raid him, I think. It was at the time where I wasn't, well, I'm still not really publicly advertising that I'm streaming to really anyone, I guess. And I remember rating him, and he was like, "Oh my goodness, you stream solo?" And then like, yeah, and then it just sort of like snowballed from there, like where we just started talking. And shout out to Hoshi because he's been very supportive of my solo activities, and it's like very he's one of the people actually who one of my streamer friends that I met that is actually very supportive of me and like keeps me keeps me motivated to stream. And he's definitely like I like snowballed him with so many questions about streaming because I'm still relatively new to this. Like every single question, I'll have a new question for him every week about streaming or like VTubing in general, and like he would always like have the answer to it. So it's like, yeah. So the question of where he came from, no idea. Probably came from some other world and to save me or something.
Hold on, I got a piece in there that I was curious about. You happen to rate him, and then
Mhm.
he's like, "Oh, you stream." Did he knew about you vaguely before, like as like a different, like other than streaming, I guess?
Yes. So, um, wait, what was the question?
No, no,
Sorry. Like I
it's
immediately like,
no, it's okay. It's me reading into something that may be something or not. But you said that when you first you just happened to raid Rito, and he was like, "Oh, you stream." Like he recognized you. Did you? He happened to come across you from something else other than streaming beforehand, or from that
he,
previous group, or
yes. So he found us. I believe he can probably say it himself, but I think he found us through my VTuber group. Um, and I think he started tuning into like our streams, more often, and he was like always a name I would recognize. So yes, I think he did know me from my VTuber group, and then he sort of like he recognized my name when I rated him for the first time as a solo person, and yeah, like he sort of supported me after that.
that's it's always nice to have it's always nice to have a friend like that in your corner. Also,
Mhm.
it's really cool, kind of like I'm speaking on behalf of VTubing in general. I've never been the person tubing. I've never done flesh tubing, I guess. But I feel like it's just really close knit for the most part. Like when you do meet somebody, it's like, and you just happen, you're like, oh, I really like what you do. Everybody's been super supportive. Like even though I personally haven't been doing any like major collabs outside of this kind of thing, everybody that I've met and has been on here has been just stellar people in general.
Mhm.
So like I'm super duper thankful because it was hard to get on here, but people like that kind of make it worthwhile, even regardless of the outcome of what this becomes at the end of the day. So that this is kind of like an empty, like you said, my single brain wrinkle was sparking, and I had to purge that beast before we moved on, just to just to give my nod to VTubing and streaming in general. That being said, as you are now, you're really as early on in your solo streaming career, so maybe you're still
Mhm.
finding your footing as to what you want to do. But I'm curious. Did you have any like grand plan schemes that you're trying to get into at some point in time, like what you want your channel to be further down the line, or what you see going on, I don't know, a year or so in the future, maybe even more?
I'm not too sure about like grand plan, like where I'm gonna be in the future, but I do know I want to tap into sort of other, I don't know what the word is, other places. Like I did want to try ASMR maybe, like in the future. Because like I have such a deep respect for ASMR artists. Because like I'm like how they hold so much power because they can literally just yell into your mic at any time, but they sort of like, they keep you calm, they keep you comfy. And I sort of wanted to bring the comfy vibe to my streams, even though my stream can go up in flames sometimes. But like it's like I really like that sort of calm feeling where everyone can sort of tune in and come talk to me, come talk to their fellow viewers. So yeah, I did want to try ASMR at one point. So maybe sometime in the future I'll actually will attempt it, but not too sure like about now because I definitely have to work on my voice being more relaxing, and my my whispering is not, I break character a lot, I should say. where I will sort of like awkwardly do something and then like back out immediately, like 10 steps go, like I go 2 steps forward and then 10 steps backwards, where like I sort of like I try to like go back and pretend it never happened. So I'm like trying to stay in like a place first before I actually attempt ASMR. Um, but I've also been wanting to do a main thing also wanted to do was like song covers, because I know that's like a big thing in the VTuber sphere when they make music covers. And I'm really shy, so I can't really sing on stream, but I hope one day I can do a karaoke stream without being too worried about my voice. And and as for the bigger picture, I just hope I can keep my chat the way it is now. Because I have so many wonderful people in my chat who are so incredibly kind to me. And I feel like I'm very undeserving. And I'm always wondering, like, where did you guys come from? And maybe it's a little like dyes of cringe thing to say, but like maybe it was like fate in a way where like they somehow found me. Like, a lot of them found me through the Twitch algorithm, and I still have no idea how they found me. And they stuck behind, which I'm like super grateful for. Um, and I just want to be able to keep that sort of like comfy, familial, not really familial, but intimate aspects. Because I always try to remember everyone in my chat, which seems maybe a little bit too much to some people, but I always try to remember the conversations I've had with every single person who comes by and just give them like a place to like sort of like be calm, have fun with me and like everyone else in the chat. And maybe it's a little creepy to say like I remember every single conversation we've had and you can't escape, but yeah, like yeah, I just like maybe because like a lot of people I think they do this, they like have the intention to grow, but for me like I don't know, I sort of like where I am now, and I like that sort of intimacy, I can't speak today, intimacy I have with my chat, like as it is. And it's just nice. And they always motivate me to stream. Like I always want to stream for them. Like even if I'm on my off day, like I'm always like, I gotta stream. I gotta talk to people. Because I just really they made me enjoy streaming. I remember in the beginning I used to be like, I don't really feel like streaming today. But like now every day, like I'm always like I'm just addicted to streaming, I guess you can say. So yeah.
I know exactly that feeling because I noticed like I've taken more days off recently, which I feel bad about, but I can feel it where like sometimes it's hard to sleep because it's like, well, I haven't streamed today. It feels like part of my routine, and it's like I haven't seen them today. What am I doing? And it's just something nice to come to, and
Mhm.
having yeah, that intimate kind of viewer count where you're like, I can talk to everybody and then we can all have separate conversations and it can still happen. Uh, but I didn't want to blow this over because I always want to give props here because I feel like I was harsh in the past, like before I was ever online, of ASMR, because it's
Mhm.
very, very hard, first of all. And I never gave props to that. And I was talking to the immaculate Von Locke last time I was doing this, and he does ASMR himself, and what a
Mhm.
class act that fella. He unwavering his voice. Like he could just like go straight into it, and like I'm sure he'll have to take takes, but like he's so in tune, and it's such a vulnerable media that like not to refer to the Ara instance too many times, but
Oh man.
it's like that level of like being vulnerable to your audience and audio, and it's hard, so like
Mhm.
some of that ASMR is pretty intense 18 plus content. That's right, Zeltis.
Oh.
It is in fact. But yeah, shout out to Vaughn for doing that, and I'm sure that you would be a great addition to the ASMR community because I could tell you've got it. You bring that vibe to it. You just got to bring it out of yourself at the end of the day, which is
Mm,
easier said than done, of course.
for sure.
As of course we have an example now. We have a live example of what that looks like. The physical violence that you have to bring yourself on. Oh,
Yeah.
you're right. To mention this live, Pixel was the last one. I'm sorry, Thor. I had a mental like, I was like, I wanted to talk about Vaughn, so I was like, oh, Vaughn's the last one. Sorry, that's my brain single wrinkle moment. But yeah, I think that's a really good, a really cool way to look into the future of like, this is what I want to do. You have two really cool things that you want to do as far as like song
Mm,
covers and ASMR, and I'm always interested in what people think their channel looks like, down the line. But that being said, do you have any? I know you already have kind of like a VTuber group now.
mm,
What do you think growing that looks like, and or where do you think maybe you'll be at some other point in time? I'm curious because like everybody, VTubing and VTuber group is very closely like that's kind of the first thought you have. You're like, oh, what group? Hololive, as the biggest example. What do you
mm.
think that looks like growing with that?
For the most part, we're with my VTuber group, we're just it's like I don't really know how to say it to be honest, because I wish I knew myself where our VTuber group is going. But for the most part, right now we are focusing on actually attempting to dish out YouTube shorts and other content like that. We keep saying we will, but unfortunately, with the amount of members we have in our team, along with like our time zones and like our limited availabilities on certain days. For example, I can only stream with them like once a week on an afternoon because every other day they're either busy or I'm not available on certain days. So it's definitely like hard. But on the times we do end up streaming together, it's always a fun experience and we're trying to bring like a fun sphere to sort of um people in the audience. And I'm not too sure where our what our VTuber group is going to look like in the future, as some of us do stream solo or like are trying to stream more solo, and we're sort of branching off to our own individual niches, because all of us do have very different um sort of vibes that we give off. I know um one of my fellow members, she's more uplifting, she's more energetic than I am, while I'm more mellow, comfy, eternally suffering on stream. And I have another person who's more into the experienced combat. So he's more experienced in the games because I suck at games and I'm still learning more about games, but he's really good at a lot of games. He's the expert at like every single game, and I don't know how he does it, but he's an expert. And we just have our own individual sort of niches that when brought together, it does work, but I feel like we have plans to like sort of just branch out to our own and figure out who we are outside of the group. Sort of like what I'm doing right now. Um, I I love my group. My group is great. We have a lot of fun together as friends. But I feel like um, I I know my group identity. I know my role in the group, but I sort of want to know my role outside of the group and who I can be. And definitely streaming solo has helped me a lot with that and figuring out like what we really want to do. But for the most part, where we are in a year, probably we're still gonna be like sort of known as like that one indie VTuber group. But like for the most part, I think with other like big names that I probably won't say because I'm scared of saying big names, but sort of like how other VTuber groups quote unquote do it, where like they do have their own individual streams and things like that, but they do occasionally come together for collabs. So I think that's sort of the direction we're going in. But for now, we're still we still stream sometimes as a group.
I think I always like that kind of format a little more, where like you
Hmm.
have this group of friends that does a certain amount of thing, but you still have the freedom to be whoever you
Hmm.
are at the end of the day. And I was just curious what maybe your collective takes are on the VTuber group as opposed to those big names which we'll leave unnamed just in case they have beef with anybody that talks about them. So we'll leave it be. But that being said, you mentioned making kind of to advertise mostly as a group is what you're saying, the kind of the YouTube
Hmm.
shorts angle. I was curious if you have the same dilemma that where I'm at, where if you did it for yourself, or I don't know where you're at as far as across the board, but when I try to like parse video content, I guess if I'm going to call it, of
Hmm.
me personally, I feel like I'm I'm fighting myself because I'm like I don't want to watch this. I don't want to see it
Oh,
again. You know.
oh yeah, for sure. Oh, you're just like me, because every single, because like our formatting and the way we do it, I'm not gonna get too much into it, but how we do it is we all take a section. So whoever shows up on a certain stream, we're those are the people who are going to split up the work on like clipping things that we thought were funny, and things like that. And I remember like going through because I was playing Ibn Ob with one of my friends and just going through those clips were like pure horror, like pure suffering because I had to one, I had to hear myself and it's always bad hearing yourself. Just hearing my own voice, like in my own VODs, like I'm like, oh God, I'm like dies of cringe right now. I can't listen to myself like that. And yeah, and it's a very long process too. Like it's hours of footage and you have to like sort of sift through it because I don't remember every single instance that I thought was funny. So I have to like sift through and like times two speed to like sort of like find moments where I thought would be funny and like sort of clip like those moments and like save it and stuff so we can actually edit it into something. And it's just yeah, it's a long process that's like very like, oh man, like I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, I've gotten into the solace act where like sometimes if I have the my brain all with me while I'm streaming and I laugh at something and I'm like, oh, maybe other people will laugh at it. I'll like actual make a physical note and I'll write it down like I'm accounting for things that could possibly be
Ooh.
funny because I couldn't like I just can't sit through there. I'll be like, oh,
Mhm.
I said something that funny when the screen looked like this, and then I'll just throw it away. And I'm like, I'm not going to listen to that. I'll just clip vaguely in that area, and then I'll worry about it later. So, yeah, I get that because it's tough. It's tough being me.
Oh, you're
No,
actually so smart though. Like I didn't think of that. Oh,
oh
just
no,
like
it works. It works kind of. So I could say that. But yeah, if I can tell you're in the same position I am, and if you don't want to worry about it too much, you got to make notes. Then you won't have
yeah.
to suffer and die from cringe by yourself. You can die from
Oh
cringe
yeah.
when somebody else parses through it.
Um yeah, all the dies of cringe moments where I actually had to clip myself. It was I'm never going back there.
Zeltos gently reminding me that he has a Mark VOD button, and all that credit I had from feeling very smart from what I do is out the window because I'm an idiot. Actually,
Oh.
oh man. Now into the theatrics of kind of like VTubing. I say theatrics. That's not quite right, but like the aesthetics of VTubing, where like everybody's got got their model and got their artist. I'm curious personally, how did you like how did you come about your model? How did you get that? It's a weird way to phrase it. I'm sorry. How,
No, no, no. I get what you
how did
mean.
you acquire your model? Yeah.
Oh boy. So my first model didn't actually look like this. I was supposed to be a Fox VTuber actually. So
Oh wow.
but I changed my concept to a Seraph because I think it was it suited me a bit more. And I was sort of in my phase where I was like, bibli biblically accurate angels are kind of hot. So like I was like, like I was like, yeah, like I kind of want to be an angel now. But originally I was, maybe I can find some pictures, but I was originally supposed to be a fox girl. I still have her original concept art, and I was supposed to go in that direction, but with things how things went with my YouTuber group and like my own personal decisions, I was like, okay, well, I'm probably just gonna become a Seraphim. And when I went with that direction, my first concept art for my Seraph did not look like this actually. Like, she looked, oh, she looked like a baby. She looked very like innocent, and part of me wishes I sort of stuck with that sort of concept, but at the same time, like I was like, I kind of want to try something else. It's always that with that. I'm very picky sometimes with like what I want. Like it took a while to get to this final. It's just, as why one of my viewers says, it too sussy, and I'm like, I'm. And when in the process of getting this model, I definitely had something in mind, what I liked with I definitely wanted there to be butterflies, and I definitely wanted flowers, the classics, and I was like, I want a choker, and then that's about it. And like just like a dreamy vibe, because a lot of the concept of my stream is supposed to be like people, this is like a dream realm I'm sort of like weaving for everyone, and everyone just comes in to have a dreamy time and just have a comfy time. And I sort of wanted to implement that like dreamy sort of concept into my model. And my mama did such a good job. And they, when I first saw, it was a long process to get my model because I joined their waitlist around July, and I only got my model in February, where I actually started streaming. So it's like a very long process with a lot of like drafts of art and concepts and things like that. And just looking at like um yeah, like now that I'm thinking back to it, like my original concept art looked a little different from what I have now. And like when the final thing finally came to be, I was like, holy heck, like this is me now. And it's like it was like a long but extremely worth it process to like sort of finally see myself. And like because sometimes I see my like dang, like I sometimes I can't even associate myself with like my models sometimes because it's just so nice. But just what was the original question? I feel like I'm like forgetting everything
No,
today.
no, you're adding beautiful detail. It's so don't even worry about it. No, the question was just acquiring your model. Did the did they do it bottom to top? They did the art and the rigging for this model.
Yeah, so they so I had two separate. So I had a model, a person who did my design,
Oh, okay.
and then they made it into a model, and then I had someone else do the rigging. So it's like two completely different processes. And I remember when I was actually, oh, this is like a story where when I was asking for my wings specifically, because I wanted them to be a certain way. And
Okay, wait, am I back? Hello?
you are back, welcome back.
Oh
Did I
my
scare you
god.
off?
No. Okay, so here's something crazy. Guess who's Oh god. I'm streaming through a hotspot now. My
Oh
iPhone is
no.
carrying the stream. So everybody welcome back. Sorry. I scared off AT&T, I guess. They no longer wanted to host this, so we're going through
No.
we're going through their cellular service hotspot instead. They can't block me from the airwaves. This is my Alex Jones moment. Hooray! We're back live. I'm so sorry. I have no
No.
idea. Uh,
You're all good. One of my viewers, because I was on the topic of biblically accurate angels. I don't know if you heard, and they were just like, "I think you scared him with the biblically accurate angels." I was
the
just worried.
no, it's fine. The best part about it, for whatever reason, I could hear everything. I just could not speak and I could
Oh
not stream.
man.
So I have no mouth or whatever, you know. So
Oh man.
it was that was an experience. What I think we're now, unfortunately, I have to position us to probably exit stream sooner rather than
No
later.
worries.
I'm really sorry,
No, no, no. It's all good.
but that's okay. I'm glad we're back here, so I could at least give you a proper episode front to back, instead of my house catching fire or something.
Oh no, that would have been really bad.
So I think we left off your wings having their own separate.
Yes.
I think that's where I got cut off. So
Mhm.
I don't know how we
Yeah.
transition
Um,
ourselves back into it.
I think I was talking about, I'm not sure if you heard the part where when just like my wings were like their own entity, like away from like my current model, what I have now. And because like I wanted something very specific for my wings that only had a reference from a biblically accurate angel video. I don't know if you've seen that on YouTube, like the biblically accurate angel videos with like the many eyes and things like that.
Oh yes, yes I have.
And there was one of them that I really liked, where like the wings, the top two set of wings were like sort of going out in a wave formation. So like it would go up and down like in a wave. And then the bottom fold, the bottom set would sort of fold in and out. And that's exactly how like I wanted my wings to be. Um, but when I was sort of like, but that was the only reference video I actually had because like I couldn't find anything else that was more less graphic, I guess to say,
Yeah.
than a biblically accurate angel video with like the many eyes. I was like talking to my friend. I was like, "Do you think if I sent them a biblically accurate angel video as a reference for my wings, would they be like weirded out or anything?" And I was like scared I would like scare them away. Um, but luckily they did it really well, and I'm like I'm always proud of my wings, and I usually don't show them on stream anymore because they would usually whack people in the face if I'm collabing with someone, or they would cover half of my screen because of how big they are. But yeah, that was essentially my entire process and getting my model.
It's always I always ask because it's so weird finding it like how to what you'll look like in this world, and
Mhm.
it's always cool to hear people's stories. And on top of that, I am especially curious because I make some. In my free time, I make some dog water overlays. However, I really love your overlays on your channel, and I was curious: are those something that you do yourself, or do you also have somebody that you go to make overlays for your channel?
Oh, so overlays, I actually found these, well, some of them online. So, the table, all the snacks and like the drinks you see, they were all assets on the internet, that people were giving for free. So I sort of like snagged them and like I was like I wanted to create like a pretty like overlay sort of for that. So I was like I gotta make this, I gotta welcome you as my guest, you know? And I was like I was trying to find really cute things that sort of fit like the aesthetic of my background as well. And but the little thing you see moving on my screen is something actually one of my viewers made for me. The little mochi flower thing that's like going up and down on my screen, and like that's like a whole nother thing when you receive things from people who watch you, like things like art or things like yeah, just like art or like things people made for you. Like it's so heartwarming to see because I've received actually a couple of fan arts of me, and like whenever I see them, I always said in the beginning when I first started my streaming career, the moment someone gives me my first fan art is the day I'll retire as a VTuber. Because like I'm like, dang, I succeeded. I've made it. Like I someone made art of me, and that's like one of the best compliments they can give me. Like they made art of me. Like wow, like they took time of their day to make something for me, and it's always nice. See.
Oh yeah, for sure. And allow me to make a little tangent here. If there are any Foxy heads in the chat right now, You have never made me fan art. You better start. I won't take it anymore. I want to be appreciated. Anyways,
You guys heard him. You gotta
I,
do it now.
I've made my declaration of war, and I'm waiting for my response. But that, with all that said, I really hate to transition us into the final hallway here before I really wanted to get even further, but I'll transition into my final little couple of questions that I like to do just to see where you're at and then give you the send off you deserve. So, if you could, look back in time and maybe at a point in time where maybe you thought I wanted to start maybe just doing something vaguely online sooner or just be in a creative space sooner at all in general. It didn't have to be streaming. What advice would you have given to yourself perhaps 5 or so years ago, maybe even sooner, when at any point in time that you wish you would have done something in the past? What do you think you'd go
Right.
back and tell yourself?
Oh man, there's a lot of things I would want to say to the me in the past, but I wish, like, I guess one of the things I would say is just do your best and try something even if you think you won't like it, because one of the main things is like, because as I said before, I did want to try streaming, but I was just not confident enough for it. And it was just, I wish I started sooner, because then, but I think if I did start sooner, I wouldn't have met so many wonderful people like here already. But I guess, like, because I know one of my viewers asked me like how I did this whole entire streaming thing and like how it was like going for me, and I was sort of like and they because they did say they wanted to start streaming themselves, but they weren't sure if they can bring themselves to sort of stream like what every other streamer is doing. And the best answer I can give them was like, just try, because like you never know if you might end up liking it, because even if you don't end up liking it, like it's still valuable information on its own, because at least you know, like, hey, at least you have like the privilege to say I don't like this. It's like sort of like trying a new food, I guess. Like you can't really poop on the new food. That's probably the wrong word for it. You can't really poop on a new food unless you've actually tried it. And then you have, like, when you actually try something, you actually have the privilege of saying, oh yeah, like I don't like this, or yeah, I actually do like this. And I guess like it just goes back to saying, like, one of like the main phrases I guess that I learned is like be comfortable with being uncomfortable, because like there's like a lot of moments in your life that you probably don't want to do, especially as an introvert, because like I myself, like I'm really bad at putting myself out there. And um but I always try to like try new experiences for myself and try to get used to like the feeling, so I can sort of branch, I can sort of like improve myself, gain more confidence to actually do something. And as much as I want to say that I want to go back in time and tell myself to like try like streaming or like anything else in general, I could feel like if I didn't stall a little bit longer, I wouldn't be here like right now talking to like the same people. And I guess like if you want to try streaming, or if you want to try something that requires you to come out of your shell a little bit, try. And if you don't like it, that's okay too. No, it's still valuable information. And either way, like, what do you get out of it? And it's like, just try.
I think that's a really, really nice answer. I think it actually kind of partially gives me an idea of what you would say to my usual last question. So I'm going to do something a little bit different, which is instead of thinking for myself, I think for the people. I'm a man of the people. So I want to say, I want to ask, really, what do you think that you could provide these wonderful people with an RR for the road, just for the road?
Oh man.
Just for the
Oh
road.
man, I should
It,
have known this was coming.
it's
I
okay.
can't.
The final question has been forfeited because I wanted to give back to the community. All you people that
Oh
are here,
man.
you deserve to have something. So for the road, maybe just a little RR, just a thimble of RR, please.
I
For
meant everyone in my chat is going crazy. Like, yeah. And they're like, for the road, and I'm like, oh man, not like this, not like this. This actually reminds me, just one little thing I'm gonna sneak in here,
okay,
just if you don't mind.
not at all.
Um, one of my biggest milestones that I've reached was actually being featured in a compilation video on YouTube by one of like it's a Final Fantasy channel, but they cover Final Fantasy news. And I guess they started like covering news about streamers. And I remember it was one of my RRs that I did on stream. Someone clipped it, and I woke up the next morning. I went to work. I was vibing. I was chilling. One of my static members, shout out to Saki. Thank you, Saki, for letting me know because I wouldn't have known otherwise. Um, she sent me a link. She was like, "Congratulations, you've been featured on this channel." And I was like, "Wait, what?" I thought she was joking at first. I was like, "Wait, what?" And when I actually looked at the video, like I was actually there. And I was like, "What the heck? Like, where did they find me? Like, how did they get this clip?" Because it was like I never thought I'd be featured in something. And but of course it was my RR that made it in. It was like I was like, "Oh no." And then all my friends make fun of me for it. Sometimes they're just like, "Oh my gosh, is that the streamer with the known for the Ara and that YouTube video?" And I'm like every single time, I'm gonna rip someone's throat out, like every single time. And is that exactly what one of my viewers is saying in chat? World famous RR streamer? Are you that world famous RR streamer? And I'm like, oh man. And I'm like, I really don't think my RRs are that good. But I guess my chat just likes seeing me suffer a lot of the
Well,
time. And
and who am I to deny them that right? I would never
okay.
deprive them of that suffering. I'm getting beep 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 beep. This is breaking news. Zeltos is telling me that you changed the Ara prices to 50,000 points. Do you think this is fair to the consumer, Cephinari?
Yes, I did it. No hesitation. Yes.
I
I
that is absurd. 50,000 points. And I'm
yeah.
get I'm trying to sneak a couple for free. I'm sneaking into the Cephinari restaurant just to get not at all. Rito says we riot. Yeah, we revolt. What can I say? Uh, we will not be put down by this economy. No way, no how. So I like I said, Zeltos
Inflation.
Zeltos came in after I made a sacrifice. A sacrifice that I don't know if I have the power to do again. However, I wanted to squeeze just one more embarrassing moment out of both of us, so I guess it's only
Oh.
fair that we both do it.
Oh. Okay.
Zell, this one's for you. Feel free to do nothing with it. So don't do shit with it, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it because I think everybody deserves. All you Ceph cells out there deserve an aura, so I have to do it
Oh boy.
myself. All right, here we go, and I'm not even going to think twice. Here it goes. Kissing distance. Aura. Hold on, more. Aura. More. Aura. No, fuck. More. I got to do it. Hoshi, Rito. Sorry, we're not on first name basis yet.
Oh.
Give me the power. Don't worry, I'll teach you next week. Oh God, voice crack.
Sad.
Oh, voice crack. No. Aura. All right, there you go.
Oh
Your
man.
turn.
That got me a little flustered.
Let's fucking go. Thank you, Rito.
Oh boy.
There we go. I made a sacrifice. I put myself back in the pit so I could scam one more out of you. So here you
Oh.
go. This is your platform. Actually, you know what? I think this is how we should format it. I think you should you give your final little You know, shout yourself out to all the beautiful people. Tell them what you got going on. Tell them about you. Give them your ats. And then I'll do this for you because I know it's tough. You're going to say your ara, and then I'm going to
Oh.
disconnect you from the voice chat immediately after,
Oh.
and you don't have
Oh
to worry about
no.
it. It'll be the
No, I
last
do have
thing.
to worry about it because my chat is gonna be like on fire.
It's gonna be. It's gonna be the final send off of the episode. I will give you all the thanks in the world afterwards. But I just think it's a good setup. I'll give it to you. You won't even have to sit in the silence of that ara. I'll drag you back down to Jin chat, and you can sit and think about what happened
Oh no.
with your chat all alone because I know they want to talk about it. I've got Discord up right now. Let me go ahead and say my final thing. You have been an absolutely stellar guest. This has been such a fun episode. I couldn't ask for a better way this had turned out, except for the internet killing itself. That was tough. But outside of that, it has been a phenomenal episode. So without further ado, this is Cephinari. Take your spot on the stage. Say what you got to say.
Um. Oh man, I forgot the question, so I'm just gonna wing it. But thank you guys so much for supporting me. Of course, to all my viewers and everyone on Foxy's End as well. It was a great honor to be here today, and honestly, um I'm really glad that I was invited to this by Zeal, of course. Shout out to Zeal as well, for inviting me to have the wonderful opportunity to be able to talk to Foxy. Amazing. And I'd also like to thank my wonderful viewers, all my friends to support me. Like it really meant a lot to see like so many people come and just see me suffer on camera once more. And um and shout out also to my raid groups. As my Savage Static Drastic Measures. Thank you. You guys make my thank you so much for supporting me to all my raid members, and of course my Ultimate Static, also known as that Ultimate Static. Thank you for also supporting me and not redeeming an uwu for me today, i because I know they planned on like piling together like a whole bunch of things to redeem like me so I can uwu speak, but I had to raise the prices because of them. But shout out to you guys and thank you so much. I would cry right now and I'm holding back my tears, but yeah, thank you guys like so much for the support. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to have many more um memories with you guys. So thank you. And I have to do my RR right now, don't I?
You know,
Oh
I think it
man.
might be time.
Oh, this is where I stall for another 10 minutes because I can't do it on the spot.
That's all right. Like I said, I'll be here. I'll
Oh
be here.
man.
And like I said, I'm gonna keep my end of the deal as soon as the millisecond after that last comes out. I'm taking you off the co-op voice channel, and we can move on like it never happened.
Oh boy. Okay. I need water. I need water.
Hey, that's okay. Get your water. I'll take a sip myself. I'll let everybody hear it. Here, there's that ice. There's a big slurp.
Oh man. Okay. Ada.
Yes, there we go. That's the episode, fellas, boys, everybody. I did this for you. I did this for you. I did my best. I took off the screen. Let's go. Let's fucking go, everybody. What a beautiful episode. That is the wonderful, very talented, just top tier, top of the world, top notch streamer Cephinari. I am so honored to have had them here today. Sorry for that super abrupt shift there, but I wanted to keep my end of the bargain. I said I'd end it immediately, so I did what I had to do to squeeze out another RR for you. So I did my best. I wore our collective suffering on my shoulders so we can get there. So shout out again, extreme heartfelt shout out to Cephinari. Incredible guest, incredible episode. Sorry about the technical hiccups. We'll hopefully. I mean, I don't know what to say. AT&T will make better connection for me next time. I'm sure they will. After they see this episode, they'll be like, "Man, that guy deserves some good hookups." So we'll make it. We'll make it there. But I'm gonna, you know, I am through the roof. I had so much fun this episode. I'm going to send the rest of you over to Sephi's channel as the end goes, so you guys can have fun and smile, be cozy, be happy, be healthy. You know, do what you got to do. So let me go over to the box here. That's not the box. Let me go over to the box here. Road to business class internet. That's right. That's the next goal. Say goodbye to the Nether portal. Say goodbye to the kitchen. Say goodbye to the fox. Idiotic Panda. Shut up. No way. Thank you both for the follow. You are sweethearts. You're total sweethearts. Thank you everybody for coming by. Oh, there's the sounds. Thank you everybody for coming by. I'm sending you over to Sephi. What an incredible guest. What an incredible world. I hope you all have a wonderful night. And I will see you in the next one. And I will announce the next Foxhole very soon, which you already know is going to be the man Rito. And we're going to have a promo out for you soon. Oh, Mike, he came in at the tail end here, but that's okay. Just in time to raid. Just in time to raid. Just in time to see that, yeah, that VOD will be up soon, and you're going to be happy, healthy. Happy, healthy, happy, healthy. Swear, swear, swears. Swearsies, I swear. So here you guys go. Have fun. I will see you next time.
I was very nervous. That's not fair. What do you mean? I